In my previous video, I talked about the notion of seduction as I was introducing my energy perfume set, self-seduction, which comes with my diamond-infused oil perfume and its matching spray perfume. And in the video, I was talking about sacred sexuality and the fact that a spiritual woman, because I am speaking to women, but it applies to men if they go to a masculine energy consultant. Human beings are sexual beings by default. Our sexual chakra is our second chakra, the chakra of creation. It is tied to our anatomy. So a woman who has the natural anatomy of a woman is going to experience seduction in the way feminine energy works, is linked to receiving, surrendering, being immensely creative, and being immensely sensual. Being a sensual woman is actually how you calm your nervous system. Being sensual is the natural way of goddess embodiment. When you're sensual, you don't think, you feel. A couple of people were triggered in the comment section about me talking about celibacy. One of them was just all over the place. You can tell this is someone who has an addiction to dogma and who probably replaced one prior belief system. And because she is on a spiritual journey, she replaced her old belief system with a new one. But the addiction to dogma is the same. I don't remember precisely, but the trigger was about the fact that I said that women are not meant to be celibate. So in a perfect world where your parents taught you spirituality and your parents protected you from attacks, you learned about your karma and you dealt with it as it presented itself, and you are a free operating person, meaning that you're not tied to programming. So see, I'm saying if it is highly unlikely. But imagine you have this best case scenario where your energy is just free and you're a woman in your feminine energy and you're not chasing, hustling, you're not in survival mode, you're full of money and you love yourself and you genuinely attract the perfect men as your first relationship. You get married to that man. Now we'll come back to the notion of marriage as well, because this same person is so ignorant. And I feel that the more ignorant people are, the more they like to show it. And it's a shame. I know the comment section is meant to express yourself, but sometimes, I would never go and comment on someone who has 20 years experience in mechanics, okay, or a mathematics professor. To have the genuine naivete and audacity to comment on someone who was born into spirituality, who bathes in spirituality, who is linked to her village and who has been doing this as a career for 23 years. Yes, I call that audacity. to challenge someone like me with the baggage of knowledge that I have. I don't know everything, but if I have a level of master's degree in what I do, most people I meet have level elementary school. This is just a fact. You can be triggered by it. This is not my business. So a woman, a spiritual woman especially, has to use her sexual energy. Now, the notion of celibacy in the tantra, okay, and I'm talking about white tantra. It is about arousing your sexual energy on a at least weekly basis from the moment you start having your first menses. Okay? If you haven't done that already, you're late. Your sexual energy is dormant. Your kundalini you're still there trying to learn and go to retreats and whatever to do kundalini awakening. If you had just activated and started arousing your sexual energy, which is your second chakra, okay, we're not talking about the higher chakras, we're talking about the second. If you had solved your problem, your money problem, your survival problems at the survival level, the root chakra, and then the second chakra, if you had done it, this wouldn't even be an issue. People wouldn't be talking about kundalini awakening at 20 years old or 30 years old or whatever. So no, a woman is not meant to be celibate. And when we talk about celibacy in the tantra, I mean, I'm using the word white tantra because this is a widely Sanskrit term that is known by most Westerners. In every indigenous culture, there is an equivalent word for it. Celibacy means never activating your sexual energy. It does not just mean what the Western mind thinks of or has made it to be, which is, I choose not to be with a man, especially when most women, Western women, when they choose not to be with a man, it's usually because they've been hurt, they have trauma that they need to heal, or they have a vow of celibacy. They repel men, or they're karmically, their energy, their spirit is afraid of men. This is something that they should look into. So celibacy does not just mean not having sex with men. It means not activating your sexual energy, your svadhisthana chakra. In my video also, I was talking about seduction, sensuality, etc. And it relates to sacred sexuality. Sacred sexuality also has many aspects. First of all, promiscuity is not even the word allowed, because for us, when we go to the wise, the elders, it is forbidden. Promiscuity is forbidden because you're supposed to be, and I quote myself, stingy with your sexual energy when it comes to the men you share your body with. However, I believe it's the same person who spoke about marriage. Something about along the lines of you're not supposed to have, or having sex outside of marriage is detrimental, or something like that. Again, I can tell that this is a Westerner or a Westernized person, fully programmed in the flawed, caricatural, even Saturnian ways of thinking, putting things in a box. In what world were my ancestors bound to go to the city hall to get married, and this would determine that they're married? So that would mean that anytime you are married, it means that you are in a sacred relationship. Every single woman married today is in a sacred relationship, and she practices sacred sexuality. To even say that is so utterly I mean, I could call my daughter who's 16 years old and she would explain this to you. It's so ludicrous to say something like that. Sex outside of a sacred union, meaning a union where you are yourself, embodying your goddess, full with your energy. You can only attract a man who is your equivalent. Second, for the relationship to be sacred, it has to be approved by your entities in the invisible realm. They could not care less about who you go with to get a piece of paper that says that you are married. So yes, sex outside of a sacred union is the cause of curses being reinforced and karma being increased. The people who call marriage sacred marriage are usually people in the realm of, again, the mainstream westernized or Western spirituality, the people who talk to you about twin flames, for example. This doesn't exist. I'm not going to go too deep because I just wanted to share my thoughts. And the fact that I was first amused by the comments, to think that we're almost in 2026 and to have people still programmed by the dogma and to have spirituals who judge. It's quite shocking to have spiritual people who judge. I mean, it's like isn't it like the biggest oxymoron? But then to be not fully educated on the oldest type of spirituality, the original type of spirituality, but then to expose judgment with flawed information. I just felt like I wanted to come on my channel, which I own, which I have sovereignty over, just to make sure that anyone who goes to the comment section of that previous video, and I'm inviting you to watch this video if you didn't, so that if you come across comments like that, please. Pupils are still on a learning journey. And in French, we have an expression. I don't know how I can transliterate that, but basically it says, when you have a small quantity of marmalade, you tend to spread it as far as you can. So the people with the least knowledge tend to think that they have the most just because they have new certainties. One thing I've learned over doing this for decades now is that in spirituality, there are many deaths and many rebirths. You have to have a lot of humility. And anyways, I hope you're enjoying a beautiful holiday season. And I wish you miracles and success and plenty of sexual energy activation. And no, don't honor vows of celibacy. Never ever. Your body is a vessel, very powerful vessel. You are the avatar here on earth, and the goddess is above you, next to you, within you, as a multidimensional, omniscient being. So use your womb. Practice daily sexual energy activation. That is why I created Morning to Manifest. But I'm sure you can go to a tantric healer and you will have that. Well, you won't have mine. You can go to a kundalini yoga person stiff in their in their sexual energy, teaching you about kundalini awakening for the oomph time. Be careful. 2026. Numerology 1. Don't be stuck in your old ways. Okay? I love you. And I pray that you linger in lavish imperial opulence. And I see you in my next video. Bye.